Hello, everyone. I am Xavier Hart, and today I'm going to do my speech on why everybody should try a digital detox. Now, I saw the whole list and I was like, okay, some pretty cool things here. Like I saw stuff about coffee and small talks, turn it into I think it was fun facts. Why people should laugh at their own jokes. I think another cool one was what was it? Why? Oh no, it was people laughing at their own jokes. That was it. I already said it. But or maybe it was talking to themselves. But I chose digital detox because I think it's actually very helpful in our society now. Technology is everywhere. You can't get away from it. It's in your pocket. You have a computer. Right now, I'm recording on a computer. Like it's everywhere. People have TVs, and I mean, I have an Apple Watch right here, and so I mean, maybe I couldn't be the one to talk. And I ain't trying to flex on nobody with the Apple Watch or nothing. I'm just saying technology is everywhere, right? And so I think that stepping away from something like that, which takes so much attention, so much time, so much focus, it could be very helpful for the mind, for the body, and for uh, well-being overall. Now, before we jump into why you should do a digital detox, I think we would first need to understand what a digital detox is. And so, basically, what that is you can almost look at it as a form of dieting. I don't want to say fasting because that's so specific and the not necessarily the results, but the purpose of it is completely different than a digital detox, I believe. Um, but you can look at it as a way of like dieting almost, where it's like, okay, I have a certain amount of time, let's say time, energy, and focus that I put into all the electronics or digital uh, appliances that I have, right? So I'm taking some of that, I'm drawing it away, and I'm putting my focus on something else. And so, whatever that focus may be, whatever that time may be, whatever the energy that you're taking away from here and putting it over here, I don't know what that would be, but I think that's a pretty clear way to say is I'm taking my time away from this so that I can focus and better myself in other areas, right? And so for a digital detox, I think there have been multiple studies done, and there are a lot of ways that people have come to conclusions about them. But I do think that they are very helpful and useful. And so now that we know what a digital detox is, I think we should look at ways of doing it and then the results that come from it. And so the first way that I believe that people could do it is they could kind of look at it in sort of an intermediate stage, because I'm recording this on my computer right now, or sometimes I'll respond to things, text or whatever on my watch or my phone, but maybe taking some time and stepping away from that for a certain period. Now, because of the way that our life works nowadays, it might be kind of difficult to do that. So I think certain ways that you could do it might not necessarily be how long you step away from something, but what you step away from. So it might be impossible for me to digital detox for a week because I have classes. It might be impossible for a professor to digital detox for a week because he has classes, because he has papers to grade. But let's say he takes some time away from social media. Let's say I take time away from streaming platforms. Now, if I look at it from that angle, it's a little bit different because I'm taking away something that takes time, energy, and focus. And now I cannot focus on Netflix or Hulu. Or for a professor, he didn't have to focus on Twitter or Instagram because I know that's what they're doing in their free time. Like I know everybody's schedule, but they no longer have to focus on those things. And now they can transfer their time, energy, and focus over to other things that might be more important, such as spending time with family. For a professor, such as grading papers, or for anyone in any profession who has extra time on their hands, maybe putting extra time into that and perfecting and honing their craft. It could even go to the form of finding a new hobby, or maybe it just looks like you taking time, resting your mind, and letting yourself just think and process different things that you wouldn't normally process on a normal basis because your attention is taken away by something that had you do this. When you sit there and look at something, you're not thinking, you're not processing, you're not letting your mind go to different places that maybe it would if you gave it that time to just sit back, relax, be still, and focus. And so I think that's ways that you could do a digital detox is not necessarily taking it completely away, but taking the things that are more of a luxury and not a necessity, I think would be a good way to put it. Now, there are studies that have shown that digital detoxes, uh, that word's getting hard to say the more I say it, that these have a very positive effect on mental health and mental well being, such as lowered or lessened, I was going to say rates, but I don't think that's the right word. signs of depression and anxiety. Um, Now, on the other hand, people can say it's increased absence, like withdrawals, or created symptoms such as boredom, which I think, yes, that'll probably happen. If you're used to looking at something and swiping all day and then you take that away, you're going to have withdrawals and you're going to have boredom. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think, lights weren't created until the 1800s. And before that, what did people do? There was no technology, there was no light. Studies have been shown that the reason that people are um, losing sleep is because of technology, because they're looking at their phones, their screens, which produce light late at night. And when they're looking at this, the light is continuing to keep their bodies awake because the body thinks, I see light, it's daytime, I stay awake. And it's fighting off that sleep cycle that it should normally be under. But instead, it continues to stay awake and push itself further and further into later hours of the night because it sees that light. Now, before light was invented, the body had a certain cycle, and once it got to that point, it was probably starting to wind down. But now people are staying up till midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, even later hours for some, which is another sign of the negativity of technology to some degree. Now, I think if you take that away, people can get better sleep, which would turn into better mental health, which would turn into better productivity and development in the future days that would follow. And so I think there's benefit for it in that regard. I also personally don't believe that boredom is a bad thing in certain situations. Now, the word boredom is used, but it could also look like solitude. It could also be said as meditation, where you take time to really just focus and think and let thoughts run through your mind. For the believer, I think this is really good to stop and be still and meditate on the Word of God, and to stop and be still and to think about the things of the Lord, the things of His Word. This is a good thing for the believer. It's also good for people who don't necessarily know Jesus, just to take some time, step back, and really let your mind just go. Um, and so there's benefits to detoxing in that way. Um, but overall, I think detoxing is stepping away from technology for a time, for the specific purpose of growing mental acuity and continuing to develop mentally. And there could be side effects such as boredom or withdrawals, which is not necessarily bad. But the benefit is having those things I was saying earlier, better focus, increased attention span, things like that. And so I think there's huge benefit to digital detox, and I think that's something everyone should try for once. Maybe not for once in their life, but at some point in their lives. I think it could be beneficial for a lot of reasons. So yeah.